Good morning and welcome. Welcome to all who are joining us by streaming, safe from the dangers of the roads and icy conditions. I'm glad to see all of you here who braved those slippery conditions. As I was trying to negotiate my front steps this morning, very carefully trying to deduce whether that surface was icy or not, it came to me that whenever we want to practice, we usually have to negotiate some kind of slippery condition. But it's usually not outside ourselves. And just as it takes not a small degree of mindfulness to get down a set of icy steps, it also requires some concentration, some clarity of mind, some clarity of purpose in order to bring our practice to the foreground. To allow our aspirations to cultivate stability of mind, cultivate insight into the nature of mind, to cultivate a profound good-heartedness. That includes the wish for complete liberation of all beings. It takes quite something for that to really become clear in the background noise, you could say, the background noise of all the other things that we do in our lives, all the other concerns that we have. And when we sit down to practice, one of the things that is always recommended is that we reinvigorate our sense of going for refuge, our orientation, our fundamental orientation in the Dharma. Fundamental orientation to connect with our own pure nature. And to put in place all the conditions that might facilitate this. So whatever your relationship with the practice is, whether you're relatively new or a very long-time practitioner, you have your own individual relationship with the practice that we're about to do. It may be even that I've never heard of this before. So there's some kind of curiosity to see what it is. Or there's some kind of appreciation that basic stability of mind might be a good thing to cultivate. And so on. But it's good to place that in the center of our attention. Sometimes it's easy to recall the inspiration for our practice. And we can ride on that for a while, but sometimes it takes some energy, some effort. Often that's triggered, that effort is triggered by a sense that everything has kind of become a little murky. Our relationship with our practice is not so vigorous, not so vibrant. So it's good when we begin sometimes to take a little extra effort to really see what it is that we're relating to. How is our relationship with our practice going? If there's something that you know that you really, I would like to really sort of be in touch with this part of my practice, to really investigate this forward. To be present with it in a certain way. Go ahead and bring that to mind. And just as we practice moment to moment without any ability to hold some giant complicated thing, allow this refreshing of understanding of our own practice to just be quite simple, just the way we meet our experience moment to moment. Recognizing that within this we share something in common with all beings. Both a fundamental, deep wish for well-being, peace, and also we share with all beings the fact that each and every being has its own, or our own, unique circumstance. So we go for refuge.
Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order power to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
All the ingredients for profound insight are present in every moment of experience. While there are benefits in generating plans for the future, there are benefits for trying to understand the past and the present circumstances. If at the heart of it, we've not actually been able to really see into the present moment of experience, there is something missing in all that. It's as though right at the heart of the matter, instead of looking into the heart of the matter, we look away. In every moment of experience, there's an aspect of awareness, aspect of appearance, appearance of any kind of experience. So we can cultivate a relationship with what arises in our minds, what arises in our stream of experience, by just allowing the attention to settle on an aspect of that. We could settle just on the experience of the openness of awareness. But that can be quite slippery. particularly when we're so used to flitting about amongst all the appearances that arise in our minds, in our experience, that we haven't even really settled on one aspect of what appears in experience. So if you find it slippery, just to rest in awareness, space of awareness. Then settle the mind on one aspect of experience. The example of the breath is often given, just the experience of the sensations of breath flowing in and out. However you approach the meditation, allow the principle of deep simplicity to guide you. Each moment of experience is just what it is as it arises. If your mind turns towards trying to understand it or judge it or worry about whether you're doing it right, just return to the experience itself. Each time that you discover that your mind has wandered off, reinvigorate your attention, placing it vibrantly back on the stream of experience. Simple, relaxed. if you wish. Allow the mind to open, be fresh.
this virtue may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state.
Thank you. Now, everybody knows about the New Year's retreat. You're not nodding or anything. So if you don't nod, then I'll keep talking. There's a price to be paid for disengagement. It begins, on 9 o'clock on the 31st. It runs to come as you are, come when you can come. So it's a little different than our other retreats where we try to be a little bit more formal about showing up at the beginning and staying through to the bitter end.
Sales pitch.
Well, it's funny because we all have different relationships with parting the waters to go on retreat. And for some people, it actually is like the notion that if a retreat is just 8 hours, the last hour is painful. If it's 2 days, the second half of the last day is painful. If it's 3 days, it's the third day that's painful. So it's a very funny thing. It's a very funny thing. But for others of us, the 8 hours, get to 8 hours, well, couldn't we do this tomorrow? So it's like that. And I found at the end of 1 year retreat that I definitely felt like, let's see, what was I planning on doing next month? Anyway, it really felt like, no, this is very fruitful. This is an incredible opportunity. So whether you take a few hours, an hour, 5 minutes a day, or the weekend, the time of New Year's, which all can have profound benefit. And along with the retreat, there at 4 p.m. on the New Year's Day, Michael will offer refuge. So if you want to know more about refuge, thinking about taking refuge, please talk to one of us.
And for the retreat, it's good to register online.
Yes.
Even though it's somewhat casual, we want to know how many people are coming. And
Yeah.
the planners need that.
Yes. That planning that I spoke about as having some merit, that this is one of those occasions where it's good to be able to plan ahead a little bit. So we have that coming up. We also have the rescheduled annual Sangha meeting. So that's going to be on Saturday the 7th. Okay, good. Linda's nodding.
The board will decide for sure this afternoon, but it's almost inevitably for sure Saturday the 7th, probably from 1 to 3:30, so you don't have to drive in the dark. And,
The announcement online says still has the late evening time,
yeah,
so someone might want to
yeah.
fix that. Yeah.
And on that, there'll be a variety of things happening during the annual meeting. But one of the main things that we'll do will begin and end with practice. So having that be one of the first things that we do as a group in our space is practice together. That's an important element. Along with that, we'll also have opportunities to look around and see everything. And probably most of the sawdust that we're making right at the moment as we work in the attic will be swept up, though we might leave some ceremonial piles of sawdust just so that we get some credit for having Robert smiling. He's part of the crew making sawdust at the moment, as I am. So we'll have a variety of things, and there'll be more information forthcoming on that.
Will definitely be an opportunity to decide if there's something in the building that you're inspired to help cover the cost of the renovation or repair of that. And also if there are places where you might be a volunteer to help do the work there or help us move from here to there. A lot of sign-up sheets and things like that. Plus a lot of information about what an immensely successful year this last year has been for KCC.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. A meeting like this, I think, is a rare opportunity for us to all place at the center of our attention some aspects of the life of the community that we often don't get a chance to see or often take for granted. So to put them in the center of attention and be able to celebrate them, understand them better, it's, I think, a great opportunity. And it's something that is created when we come together. This is not just our community is not just sort of this, it's this organism. It's not just something that we put on a little show and then people show up. So the creative aspect of participating in these meetings, I think, is very important. It's important to me. When we talk about communication, it actually requires a dynamic. It's not just you grab the megaphone and shout and you don't know who's there or not. It actually requires interaction and engagement. So this is an opportunity for us to come together and engage like that. Miriam, yes.
So clearly by context, the annual Sangha meeting is being held at our new space at 4936 Northeast Skidmore Street, correct?
Yes.
And is the retreat, the New Year's retreat, going to be held at this location or there?
Now this brings into the foreground a wonderful question that we have to answer now for the next several months. The retreat will happen here, the Sangha meeting will happen there. Mary.
And so for those of us who can't come to the Sangha meeting, will there be some kind of a communication or minutes from that meeting, or because I'm working, so.
Yeah.
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's important. Thank you, Mary, because we can never guarantee that everybody will all be able to show up at any time.
Right.
That doesn't mean that it's not important for us to share the information and to hear both ways. And for those who can't come, Dora's just about to burst with something to say.
Well, I just wanted, back to Miriam's question, I think it's good to sort of build a little community knowledge that we don't have right now an exact timetable because, you know, the Urban Center Committee is working on contacting contractors and people who, they all have their own timelines and, you know, figuring out how much we can do with the funds that we have and hoping we'll have a few more funds so that we can do a little more before we move in. And so there's a lot of moving pieces and all the people on the committee are volunteers and have jobs and things like that. So, and some people are actually doing hands-on work, but there's a lot of things. So, but I think it's good just to have the sense that it's going to be a few months, you know, something less than 6 probably, but more than 2 before we can move over there.
Yeah.
So, and what we'll see at the meeting will be kind of the before picture, and then it will get worse, because like, like the ceilings need to be taken down, repaired. The floors, old carpet needs to be ripped up and replaced with some flooring or other carpet, and so we're kind of getting the before picture, but then things need to be done that are such that you can imagine, like ceilings and floors, it would be very inconvenient to be trying to meet there and not be able to use the floors or not the roofs. So, not to mention the heating system, which dates to 1936. Wow. When the building was built. It's like totally old, kind of needs replacing, and it's also turned off now because the oil tank was removed by the previous owner at our request. So anyway, so there's things that must be done and before we move in, and then more will need to be done after we move in, but there's just certain things that will be very difficult to do afterwards. So if that's kind of good for the group to, yeah.
I hope you all
Spread
get
that
to see
general
the
information.
furnace before it's removed. It's like a small locomotive parked in the living room in the basement. So,
It is.
yes. So Zopa, you have some.
Yeah, a few more things. Wow, our announcements keep growing. Mind training group will meet this Thursday, so please consider coming. You don't have to have been coming all the time to drop in, and you don't even have to have the text. So that's from 7 to 8:30 this Thursday. Today we are doing cleanup of the building, so all the tasks are out there in the kitchen on the board. If you can stay 20 minutes. We're doing that because we usually do it the fourth Sunday, but the fourth Sunday is on the 25th, and we suspect a lot of you may not come for different reasons, but we'll be here at 9 and we'll be here at 6 next Sunday. And also on that back shelf by the bulletin board, there are a lot of greeting cards, and they're for the people who are on retreat and the staff that's supporting them. So please put your name on there for them. We're gonna, Mary put that together, and we're gonna gather them up and send them out there, so.
Yep, I'll put them all in a mailer and happy holidays to our friends.
Okay, so just on that little table there in Britain. That's it.
All right. Have some tea. Are there goodies left over?
Oh, there's a ton of goodies. Please go out there and watch.
The Bodhisattva's a Bodhisattva night left some goodies for us.
Yes.
The owner, yeah.
So there's a
That
hole?
was our agreement. Oh, well, no, didn't remove it, just decommissioned it.
Okay, okay. So there was no oil leaks or?
There you go. Yeah.
No, and we finally just
Your
got,
Shamata Friday. It just,
but we didn't get